Hello, good evening once again. It's time for another stream in the 31 Nights of Horror Games. And tonight, we're doing Super Ghouls and Ghosts again, but this time, it's Super Ghouls and Ghosts on the Game Boy Advance. And as you'll see, this intro is different because the GBA, can't do Mode 7, really. So, we get a much different thing. I like that, though, that shot of all the demons in the foreground. And then we get the Super Ghouls and Ghosts. So we can do original mode, arrange mode, and options mode. We're going to do the options first. And I'm playing this with the trusty Pelican imitation of the Hori Game Boy controller, which even these, I guess, are like pretty expensive now. This is not as good as the Hori Game Boy, but this was released in the US, which makes it a little bit easier to find. And I got this new for like 10 or 15 bucks back in the day when I first got my Game Boy player, and then the Hori version was a Japan only thing, and it costs a fortune now. So we're gonna play on normal difficulty. A jumps, B shoots. It's your standard, Demgut says, missed the majority of the first stream, just got back from Dallas. Well, I hope Dallas was enjoyable. So yeah, I've been doing these every day, so hopefully you're able to catch up. Camaristico says, alright, let's go. Demgut says, what up? 221B says, it's almost impossible to hear you. I don't know what to tell you, dude. You gotta turn up your speakers, I guess, because my mic is turned up as high as it will go in OBS. So, sorry. Let's see here. So we're going to do arrange mode, because that's part of the fun of it. I'm going to try to show off at least all the alternate stages. And I am using real GameCube with a Game Boy player. And I'm using Extrem's Game Boy interface software. So that's how we're doing this, which is why it looks a lot better than it would on a normal Game Boy player with the Nintendo disc. I'll turn down the TV a little bit here. And we're running that through we've got a PAL GameCube that we're using here with a SCART cable that we are running into a FrameMeister. So that's how the magic is happening, if you're curious. So this was released in 2002. It is available on the Wii U Virtual Console if you want to give it a go and don't have another way. And sort of in the grand tradition of Super NES to GBA ports, oh no, that was not good. I mistimed that terribly. Wow, that was awful. Demgut says, your versus vid for this game got me into this version. Yeah, this version it's dope. What was I saying? Before I just totally crashed and burned there. Yeah, so this was... Oops, didn't really mean to get that, but that's fine. This version was released in 2002, and in the grand tradition of really just about every Super Nintendo to GBA port, the audio is not nearly as good But if you don't listen to them side by side, it's not that bad. Like, it's not offensive. I actually turned it down so much that I can barely hear it, so I'm gonna try to kick it up a couple notches. But yeah, if you're not listening to them side by side, it's really not that bad. But if you are listening to them side by side, which if you were here last night, you kind of are, it's pretty noticeable that the music and the audio isn't as good. So the one thing the torch does, I don't think I got the torch at all last night when I was playing, so that was great. That was terrible. Agent Bulen Game says awesome game. It is an awesome game, and this is a pretty good version. As I said, the music isn't as good, and the viewpoint you get isn't as good. You don't have as much sort of vertical clearance here. What a lot of games did when they were moved from the Super NES to the GBA is they just redrew everything with the same proportions that it had originally. Which is not great, because it cuts off a decent amount of screen real estate compared to what you would have seen, you know, on a TV, on a real Super NES. And I am just sucking really badly right now. I don't know what it is. Yikes. I'm not even gonna waste to continue on that. I mean, why bother, right? I'm just gonna start fresh. Oop, I didn't want to load the game either. No. Well, okay. Sneak preview here. But not too much of a sneak preview, because I did not want to jump ahead. But you can save your game, which is sort of, for this game to be on a handheld, I would say it's necessary to be able to save. Let's try that again. Range mode. New game. So yeah, the arrange mode adds that map where the middle stages are all remixes of earlier. There's the knife. If anybody wants to make the reference, now's the time. I got the knife. But the sort of middle tier of stages they're all tributes, remixes of stages from earlier games in the series. And I can't shoot up, so I can't hit this dog. Let's see if we can move it over here. There we go. That's what we wanted. We can. Wow. I don't know if just playing all the Ghouls and Ghosts this week is just getting to me finally or something. I don't know. Just having a breakdown. I mean, it's gotten hot again here in the DC metro area. It was actually really nice the last couple nights, and tonight it is humid again. And That may be a factor. I missed a chest back here. Like, I don't even... Oh, I can't go back. Okay. Okay, we got the knife back. Don't know what's wrong with me tonight. So this game also adds harder versions of the stages, the original set of levels. Which you can only get if you finish the stage with I think it's gold armor. It might be bronze or gold, but I think you have to... I think it has to be gold. Kim Ristico says, is this as responsive as the Super NES? Yeah, it feels about it. I mean, again, this controller... So last night I was using my 8-bit Do Super NES controller. Tonight I'm using my Pelican GBA Game Boy Player controller, which is wired, but it seems, yeah, I don't know. Nick Infante 1992 says hello. Hello, Nick. Thanks for stopping by. Okay. I think there's a chest around here, but I mean, I'm fully upgraded, so I guess I probably shouldn't worry about it. Oh, there it is. Oh, hey, it's a fairy. So, I guess in arrange mode, maybe you only have to finish the game once, because really, this is not a weapon I should have on a first loop, but I was never sure if that was because the cart I bought someone had completed the game already, or what, but you can get the Princess Bracelet, it's called in this version, not the Psycho Cannon, as it's referred to in Ghouls and Ghosts. You can get it on a first loop, which is weird. Or it is because the person that the person who owned this game originally, since I got it used, had already completed a first loop, and therefore on any new game you can still do that. That seems weird, though. Maybe that's part of the arrangement, is that when you play on arrange mode, they made it a little easier on players by making it so you could clear it in one loop. I thought for sure I was going to jump into that thing. so we're going to take on The Rock. Not Dwayne Johnson, but, you know, the giant bird. Got him. So since we're in gold armor, we can choose any version that we want. So this is a harder version of the normal ghost ship stage, and this is stage 2 from Ghouls and Ghosts. And that's what we're gonna do. So this stuff is all redrawn, which is sort of what I like about these versions of the stages, is that since these stages didn't exist in the original version of this game, they get redrawn, which makes them feel a little friendlier than the stages from the original Super NES game, if that makes sense. Whoa, I don't know what hit me that took my armor away, but okay. These stages also, like, had to be redesigned because they were originally designed for an Arthur who could shoot straight up, and, you know, I can't do that. Whoa. And as you can see, the back half of this stage is way different. There's usually a red armor there sitting on a pile of skulls. Not more skull turtles. I got greedy there. Let that be a lesson to you. Nick Infante says The Rock is going to fly high and is going to whoop the candy-ass Arthur. Well, you know, he didn't, as it turns out. So, who's the real Rudy Poo candy-ass in this equation, I ask you? I'm not getting that money back again. I'm just going to keep moving. So, if you were watching on Thursday and Friday, you can see how different this is. And I think I'm at the boss, and the problem is going to be now, so it's giant red armor. But I don't have armor, which means that if I win, I can only go to the bottom tier of stages, which means I can't show you the next sort of remixed stage, which actually means I'm going to take a death on purpose. Cameras to go. Thoughts on last night's fight? I didn't watch it, but I read about some of the stuff, and I guess the only thing I can really say is that, man, it sure was amateur hour at the end of that fight, wasn't it? But the idea that, you know, that Dana White is going to... You know what, I don't need the princess bracelet yet. I'm taking the knife back. The idea that, you know, maybe Dana White is going to punish Khabib in some way, while McGregor basically got rewarded for assaulting people is... Ugh. you know, not great. Nick Infante 1992 says, I remember Ghouls and Ghosts for Sega Genesis. Yeah, I played that one on Thursday? Thursday sounds right. So if you want to see me play through that one I actually beat. That's the only one of these that I've actually played to the very actual true finish so far out of all these. Jacob Catastrophe says something, but I want to navigate these burning windmills. Alright. Now, let's take down the giant red armor here. Okay, and once again, I'm going to have to take a death on purpose, because if I don't have armor, I can't go to the next arranged stage. Jake Petestri says, damn, look at the PS5. I think it's the best graphics I've ever seen, so lifelike. Okay, did they announce the PS5 while I wasn't paying attention, or is that a joke? I suspect that's a joke. That's cool. I'm just gonna jump in this pit. Nope, definitely not taking that. Jacob Catastrophe says, lame joke, I'm very aware I'll get in the corner now. Okay, so it was a joke. It's like, I feel like I would have gotten some sort of notification on my phone from some news service or another if that was the thing that happened. Game keeps wanting to give me that axe, and I'm not going to take it, game, so... Threaded the needle on that one. Wow, and on that one. Alright, let's do this time. Let's take down this giant red armor. Here we go. That's better. Okay, so bronze armor will allow you to only choose the middle path, I guess? I can't even go to the lower path now. That's fine.